Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct Limited, which this afternoon finds us in Bedfordshire at Hillgrounds, the home of Kempston Rovers. In Southern League Division 1 central action between two teams who need the points for different reasons. Kempston Rovers against Ware. Live commentary coming up from myself, Pete Hill, and lay it up, I'm glad to see, it's my co-commentator, Simon Alamandi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone. And yes, certainly lay it up. Although, the sun's out, the sky is clear, but it's quite deceiving. It is still cold out here, so got plenty of layers on, as have you.
Yeah, certainly lay it up this afternoon. Let's hope the action on the pitch keeps us warm. Sunshine though, and blue skies here in Bedfordshire, just a couple of miles away from Bedford. Let's give you the team news then. Ware need the points, of course, to keep a playoff push going, which has stuttered throughout the season really, and Kempston, slap bottom of the division, need the points if they've got any hope of staying at step 4. As far as Ware are concerned then, they line up with Fred Burbage back in goal, recovered from that injury he got in the County Cup. David Sota's back as well, a right back. Ben Siggers at left back. Two central defenders, Eko Goka and Darian Furlong. Three-man midfield, Mitch Hahn and Freddie Moncur will operate just in front of that back four, with Jack Dreyer just in front of them, and then a three-man front line of Joe Dearman on the right, Liam Dawson on the left, and John Clements through the centre. On the substitutes bench, Kieran Bishop back half to the band, George Ironton back fit again, Ramiah Mills, Michael Toner and Matt Walsh. As far as the home side are concerned, we'll have only won once here so far this season. That was against fellow strugglers Tame back in October. And they will start with George Whitehall in goal, Lee Flavin, Albert Wood, Lonray Lafdigpo, Matthew Racine, Gabriel Ward, Joshua Adepoju, Erin Amu, Ari Amu, Rio da Silva and Lorik Diakesi, who's a former Ware player who's recently signed. On the bench for them, former Arthur player Ernest Ngorgi, Charles Black, Isaiah Brown-Smith, Joshua Francis and Joshua Quinlivan. Our referee is John Perry, first time we've seen him this season, and his assistants Thomas Ratherham and Tan Cholan. So that gives you the lineups. And Simon, well, following this Ware team as we have done all season, and I sit here and even against the team at the bottom of the table have got the worst attacking record in the division, I'm still not sure what we're going to get.
No, I think this is one of those games, as we said before, it could go either way really. I mean, you look at the table, you'd think that, Ware would be winning and that's what you'd expect, but as you say, it's been a stuttered start throughout the whole season the way they've gone, so I guess we'll see in about 90 minutes time.
Well, it has been a stuttering start, but they're still very much involved in the playoff race to the top of the table, starting in 8th place this morning. But when you look at that table, with the weather having an effect on how many games teams have played, etc., I mean, they've got a game in hand and Cirencester, and they're only 3 points behind. So opportunity beckons for Borhorse's team. If you look at a few of the stats, though, work this one out this morning, they're conceding 1.66 goals a game so far last season, and this season they're conceding 2.21, which tells you a little bit of story about a leaky defence when you realise that up front they're scoring exactly the same number of goals per game, 2.1, that they did last season that got them in the playoffs. So it's pretty clear where the problem is.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, obviously, they've got that problem at the back, haven't they? Conceding just over half a goal a game extra. So hopefully, from our point of view, they'll struggle defensively again today. But I know they'll obviously be wanting to put a good performance in here today.
Kempston's problems have been in front of goal, just 14 goals in 19 games. When you consider that Liam Dawson's got 18 for Ware alone, then that gives you a little bit of an idea the problems that Richard Gill and his side are up against here. I mean, they need 9 points to get themselves safe, and that's even at this time in the season, that's a big ask.
That is. I mean, especially they've only won one game here as well, which really you want to be winning your home games at least to make it a little bit of a fortress, and they've not managed to do that this season. So at this stage of the season, halfway through the season, when you need that 9 points, 9 points from safety away, it looks like it's going to be a big ask for them.
Well, we will see as the teams are getting themselves ready for kick-off here. It's going to be Kempston Rovers in their red shirts with red and white striped fronts, solid red backs and black shorts. Will be kicking from left to right. Ware in familiar strip, no change strip this afternoon for the Ware boys. Blue and white stripes and blue shorts. Our commentary position just a little bit inside the half, which is going to be defended by Kempston in this opening 45. It's a one-sided ground, this really. Nothing on the left, nothing on the right, nothing opposite, and a long stand that we're sitting in, and fairly short one as well, just 4 seats back. So one of those views which are almost like you're on the pitch, but Ware are going to get us underway. Kicking from right to left. Referee checks with both of his assistants, looks at his watch. Sparse crowd, it's got to be said here this afternoon. Come on, Kempston, to the man away to our left, and away we go in Southern League Division 1 Central. Long ball forward towards John Clements, headed out and then thumped forward. Amu was in an offside position, but involved in the action almost immediately is Lorik Diakisi, who's the former Ware player, but he thundered into the back of Darion Furlong, and Ware will have a free kick. Furlong takes it quickly. Siggers can't control it on the halfway line, and Kempston back in possession. Long ball forward by their big number 5, Matthew Racine. But Furlong will head that one down, then taken down on his chest by Rio de Silva. Fed out on that far side, and Diakesi couldn't control it, but he's going to win a throw for his team, which will be taken by Lee Flavin. Wears 2, but plays in the left back position. One thing certainly noticed when they came out, looking on the pitch, they're one of the more diminutive teams in the division. There's not a lot of height in this lineup for Kempston, is there?
No, there's not at all. And obviously, that helps in certain situations for them. But I mean, it doesn't really look anyone that's as tall as who you would want, really.
Matthew Racine, I think, the number 5 is the tallest player in the team. So one bounce takes it back to the goalkeeper George Whitehall, who's in grey top with black sleeves, black shorts and vivid pink socks this afternoon. Ball with Flavin on that far side, threads it down the line, but it's going to be Furlong will intercept, brings in Freddie Moncur, and then David Sota, who's back in the lineup. He had some time away in Nigeria and played last week a game that we went to watch, of course, which was Ware against Hoddesdon. And Hoddesdon won 4-2, but I don't really know where you get out of that kind of game. No,
I mean, I don't think it was anything that was taken too seriously by Paul. Yeah, I think it was just a chance, like they said to us, to get a couple of players back from injury, a couple of players that haven't really had, many minutes. Obviously, I mean, Fred played about 60 minutes, didn't he? So, it's good for him to get back. I mean, you say that, the score doesn't matter, but I mean, there was a couple of cracking goals from Hoddesdon, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of worldies from outside the box. And talking of outside the box, Ware have got a free kick just outside it, right hand side of the field. Mitch Hahn is over the ball, and Ben Siggers has come across from left back to offer the left-footed option. One man in the wall, who's Joshua Adepoju, and is joined now by Lee Flavin. So is it going to be the right of Hahn or the left of Siggers? It's going to be Siggers left. It's a decent one, and just cleared out from inside the 6-yard box by Gabriel Ward. Ball will break its way on this side for Joe Dearman, though. Down the line, looking for Liam Dawson. He's got to stop the ball going out, and does. Dawson hemmed in down by this corner flag, puts it across the box. Jack Dreher's got a free header, but heads it down with one bounce straight into the goalkeeper's arms. He really had a lot of time. Should have done better.
Yeah, he did. Did have the time to control it. See who was there available, which may have made an easier option into goal. But early progress for Ware, early advantage, and it's a good sign so far.
And certainly the amount of space that Jack Dreyer got there, a little bit of a sign of the problems Kempston have had all season. Not only in front of goal, but defending their own as well, as the ball breaks on this near side. Siggers goes in, but it will be a throw that Albert Wood will take. Young 18-year-old, former Milton Keynes youth player. Headed out by Go midway inside the Ware half. Wood will take the throw and again goes back for Mathieu Racine. Racine picking out the Silva, and he gets it back on the halfway line. Here is the number 10, Rio de Silva, lively character. Remember him in the game back at Watson Park, which Ware won 3-0. It's Amu takes the ball off, one of the two Amu brothers, plays it inside. The ball's crossed over on that far side by Adiboju, but nobody was there, and the ball just goes out of play very tamely for a goal kick to Ware. Ware have never been beaten by Kempston. They've got 100% record in the games that they've played. Earlier this season, 3-0, as I was saying, at Watson Park. 2 from Liam Dalton, 1 from Jack Dreyer on that occasion. Last one, 4-1 at Watson Park. And then here, October 2022, when Ware won by 2-1. Last time we were here, I remember, they won 5-0, and Reshan Esprit scored an absolute corker, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Fantastic. I mean, he put in a really good performance that day, didn't he? And he went off injured early in the second half as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he's found himself struggling, really, playing for Binfield in the Isthmian League these days. But ball out on that far side, midway inside the Kempston half. Now, if Richard Gill's done his homework, he will know what's going to happen here, with Darian Furlong going to collect the ball, and players beginning to amass on the edge of the 18-yard box. One day Darren's going to prove me wrong and provide a short one from there, but I don't think he is this time. As Joe Dearman's made the run down the line, it was a shortish one to the edge of the area. Dearman's across the good one, he goes Dreyer again, and this time his header is deflected over the top of the crossbar by Lonry Lapido, and Ware get their first corner. So Jack Dreyer's getting a bit of space in there.
Yeah, and as we said before, it's definitely positive signs. He's managing to find a little bit of space, and I think that's something that Ware need to pursue and keep in mind and see if anything can progress from there for them.
Mitch Harm will take the corner from the far side. Furlong's making a last-minute jog to the far post. It looks for Echo Coker, goes over him, hits Darian Furlong, and then goes behind fairly tamely for a goal kick in front of the 3 boys who are behind the goal. It's strange ground, this. As I said, it's all stand on one side. There's a little bit of grass behind the goals at one end, a small bit of pavement at the other end, and then opposite is a whole load of 4G pitches. Got a good youth set up here at Kempston. Darian Furlong deep in his own half, just thumps it out of the way from Ariamu. And the ball will go out for a throw in. Kempston have used 32 players so far this season. Probably symptomatic of the fact they've tried to get a decent mix going, get some decent results going, which they haven't really achieved. Only kept 2 clean sheets all season and failed to score 6 times. As the Silva picks the ball up, he's going backwards though towards the halfway line, pressured all the way by Freddie Moncur, who did a good job. Picks out Racine on the halfway line though and chips it this side looking for Albert Wood. Siggers is in the way, but Liam Dawson can't collect it. And it's back in possession with Ladipo for the Walnut boys, but that doesn't last very long as John Clements has the ball, plays it down the left-hand touchline. Dawson won't get that, and Albert Wood will just let it go across for a goal kick to Kempston Rovers. Last time out, they lost 2-0 against AFC Dunstable. Ware's last time out, of course, was New Year's Day. Haven't played since then when they went down 4-1 at Kings Langley. A little bit misleading, Kings Langley scoring 2 in injury time in a game where Ware had their chances, but symptomatic of a season where they haven't really picked up any form of consistency whatsoever. As the ball goes out in front of the Ware dugout on that far side. Joe O'Brien. Joe looks a bit quiet this afternoon. It's a bit cold over there. You usually have him yelling away, don't you? But not so far. The ball on the halfway line with Freddie Moncur gives Coker something to do. He turns it all the way back to Fred Burbage. Long kick forward by Fred will land midway inside the Kempston half. Here goes Liam Dawson, and Whitehall will have to come out and head it away from him on the edge of his area. And in the end, the ball threaded back inside the Ware half, but Coker will turn that back to Fred Burbage. And got to say, young Sam, who was on loan from St Albans, did a very good job, but nice to see Freddie Burbage back. Yeah,
of course. I mean, Sam did a great job in the Ware goal in the last few weeks, while Fred was out, and especially, I know I wasn't there, but I was listening to the game on Boxing Day, and you told me what a fantastic performance he did, and you and Jake, you gave him the man of the match for that, and he got his chance, and I know he was very grateful of that. But as you say, it is nice to see Fred back in goal.
Yeah, wish Sam all the best, as Ware have got them as a free kick. Joe O'Brien sprung into life. Must be what we're saying about it. Right in front of him there is Darian Furlong. Joe O'Brien, Ware's assistant manager. As Darian's kick will land on the edge of the area. Up goes Dreyer again. He's beaten to it by Ladipo, but Wood's miss kick gives Jack Dreyer the ball back again. Liam Dawson's got Siggers going outside him, but plays it inside and rather tamely gives it away to De Silva. The Kempston a chance perhaps to come forward. Ladipo's got the overlap provided by De Silva and plays it straight to Liam Dawson. Dawson for Jack Dreyer. Dreyer back for Freddie Moncur. A bit hurried on a pitch that this time last week was underwater, so hats off to the groundsman here, who've done a really good job to get it in the condition that it is. In fact, I know we were talking to Kevin Coon last week, and he said he'd been in touch with people here at Kempston. They were worried because the pumps had broken down, and the groundsman was scratching his head, but whatever they did, they've done very well in getting the playing surface back up and going, as Ware pick up a throw-in on that far side of the field, midway inside the Kempston half. David Sota with Steph Giorgio still on the injured list, very much the man for the right full-back position, although Joe Diamond, of course, has been played there as well. The ball on that far side as Kempston start to move forward with Diakesi. Diakesi, though, is robbed of the ball, and Freddie Moncur did a good job as it bounds off the Kempston man, and Furlong takes the throw quickly. The ball lands with Ladipo again, and Flavin can just sky it out on that far side and give Ware a throw in. A scrappy start here at Hill Grounds. Kempston Rovers 0, Ware 0 on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct Limited. 11 minutes gone. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere in the league at half time. Welling Garden City got a game at home to Tame United, one that Mark Weatherstone and his team would expect to pick up 3 points. They're top of the Form League, of course. As on that far side, it's going to be a throw-in once again to Ware. There's a bit of a change in the lineup at Welling as well, I understand, Simon. Yeah. From
what I read, on X, there was Jack Lacey picked up an injury in the pre-game warm-up, and it was James Mulley who came in place of him.
Here's Liam Dawson firing a shot in, blocked by Woods. Liam's got it back again, fires it in again. Goalkeeper gets a touch, and it goes behind. Albert Wood did a good job there, because I think that one was going on target, and in the end it was left to George Whitehall to turn the ball behind for Ware's second corner of the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good turn and shoot from Liam there, and I think that would have just snuck into that bottom left-hand corner had he not been able to make the save. He's got down well there and turned it behind for a Ware corner.
Oh, this is not fair, it's a cold day, and the lady down there, I've got this faint whiff of Bovril coming towards me. It's just not fair. Mitch Hahn's going to take the corner on this near side. They're piled up at the edge of the 18-yard box. Liam Dawson's in the box. Everybody else poised for the late run. Goes for the near post. Oh, Ladipo puts it over the top of his own crossbar. And Ware are going to have a corner taken on the other side, this time by Joe Deemer. I don't think number 4 knew too much about that.
No, it didn't look like it at all, did he? He looked like he's tried to hook it away, and it's sort of like shied off the top of his boot and gone over the bar.
Here comes Joe's corner from the far side. Everybody in the box this time. Goalkeeper does well, get a punch to it, and Wood should complete the clearance, and he does, as it goes out midway inside the Kempston Rovers half on that far side of the field. Darian Furlong forced into action. Kokoka stayed up from the back. The ball lands with him actually at the edge of the area, but then takes a deflection, which allows Ladipo to bring it forward on that far side to bring in the lively De Silva. De Silva having a run against David Sota down that far side. Sota's sticking with him well, but he's parallel to the edge of the area now, tries to get the ball across. Sota gets the block in, and it will go behind for a throw-in on that far side of the field, which will be taken by Lee Flavin for the Walnut Boys. If you're wondering about that, all will be revealed in the half-time sequence, as well as a pretty good Muppet link as well. Lee Flavin will take the throw-in, takes it short to the number 7, Adepoju. He's then Ariamu, but Moo's given it away, and where perhaps a chance to break forward. Joe Demon has to go backwards into his own half for Freddie Moncur. Freddie's long ball down the line is just put out of play by the number 6, Gabriel Ward. Another one of these teenage defenders that they seem to have here now, as David Sota will take the throw to Freddie Moncur on the halfway line, back inside his own half for Echo Coker. Coker towards us on this near side for Ben Siggers. Siggers chip ball looking to release Dawson on the edge of the area. Racine's there first, and the depot will get it from Wood and put it back to his goalkeeper George Whitehall. Whitehall right-footed downfield. Coker's wrestling a little bit with Ario Moo. Kempston want a free kick, nothing doing, says our referee John Perry, and we're getting on with it with Darian Furlong. Furlong's long ball once again looking to release Dawson on this near side. Wood's in the way but can only find Mitch Hahn. Dawson's got it back, got Siggers going outside him. Once again he turns inside, this time he's got John Clement. Far side, Joan Dearman's in acres of space, but he goes to the left where he brings in Ben Siggers. Siggers finds Freddie Moncur midway inside his own half. Freddie's put under pressure by De Silva and has to go backwards to Coker on the halfway line. He brings in Ben Siggers. Siggers goes back into his own half for Darian Furlong. Pretty play, but it isn't posing too much of a problem so far as Furlong's ball. Joe Dearman does well to keep it in on that far side. Perhaps Dearman will pose a threat now. Left-hand side of the box with the left boot all the way over the top, over the fence and out of the ground. Plenty of pretty passing there, but no threat at all on the end of it.
Yeah, no, there wasn't, was there? You know, some good movement. You know, waiting for that chance, that opportunity to open up. You know, Joe thought he found it down that right-hand side. But unfortunately, you know, I don't know whether he's tried the cross or the shot, but unfortunately for him, it went sailing over the bar. 17
minutes gone here at Hill Grounds. Kempston Rovers 0, Ware 0. Suddenly Division 1 Central, 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf. And Albert Wood picks the ball up in front of us and advances over the halfway line. But the ball, unluckily, bounces off of Adepoju's boot, and in the end Siggers will put it out for a throw-in. It's back on the halfway line with the central defender Matthew Racine. Brings in Cole De Silva. De Silva's ball looks for Diakese on that far side, but can't find him. Things don't get a lot easier in the next week for Kempston Rovers. We'll be seeing them on Tuesday night against Welling Garden City, who were top of the Form League, and then there's a visit to small matter of a visit to the leaders currently in the Division North League. So things not going to get easy for a team at the bottom of the table. Long throw forward, headed on by Joe Dearman. Mitch Hahn is in advanced position, and Racine chips the ball out. And there'll be a throw into Ware midway inside the Kempston half. Darian Furlong's decided to stay at home. So Mitch Hahn, I think he's going to take it, although Darian is now going to jog his way over onto that far side. Both central defenders have stayed back. Nobody's come up from the back. John Clements and Jack Dreyer in the box to aim at for Darian Furlong, though. Long throw to the edge of the area. Clements heads it back. In goes Joe Dearman. Volley comes in from John Clements. Had to hit it quickly, and wasn't a bad job. That didn't go too far over the top.
No, I think that was a decent move there. Nice long throw there from Darian. Found the man in the box, and came out to Clemo, and he's seen the opportunity, but as you say, unfortunately, it's just about over the top. 18
minutes gone, 0-0. As the ball is picked up on that far side by Gabriel Ward of Kempston Rovers. Long ball looking to release Diakesi down that left-hand side again, and Sota's got the defending to do. Turned away from the former Ware man, who's then brought down. And it's going to be a free kick to the visitors on that far side. Where's Paul Halsey going? He's can't see him over there. I thought he'd advanced so much he'd gone into the other technical area, but I think he's sitting down actually, which is unusual for the Ware boss. Joe O'Brien's the one who's prowling up and down the technical area. Long kick forward by Fred Burbage onto the head of Racine. Returns it to the halfway line where Ariamu will pick it up. Finds De Silva. De Silva picks up a bit of pace, plays it forward, but Coker read that fairly easily for Ware. And Freddie Moncur will go all the way back to Route 1. And Freddie Burbage's long kick forward. Look for Clements to get up. He's beaten to it in the air by Ward. And the ball will go out for a throw-in, which Freddie Moncur will take quickly down the line. Looking for Joe Dearman, flapping Joe. Not quite know what he did there. It's a Saturday, not time for wrestling, but I think there was a bit in play there.
Yeah, definitely. He's wrapped his leg around him, hasn't he? And pulled him down. And a definite free kick. Ref quick to blow his whistle, and decent position for a free kick here for Ware.
Yeah, about midway inside the Kempston half, right on that right-hand side. It's going to be Mitch Hahn who will take it. Darian Furlong and Echo Coker have come up from the back. Everybody's lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box as Mitch will take it with the right boot, go short. Oh, John Clements got a touch on it, but it's cleared away by Racine. And De Silva has brought in the number 7 Adepoju, who comes forward here. Possibilities for Kempston. Adepoju is there, takes a little bit too much time, finds De Silva on the right side of the box, fires in the shot, and in the end just goes over the top, and I think that caught the top of the crossbar.
I mean, I thought it was a save from Fred, but it's been awarded a goal kick, but that must have been the crossbar, and that is the opportunity of the game, isn't it, so far?
Well, you've got to be careful. Maybe bottom of the table, and they've been under the cosh in terms of possession for most of the first half. But they've produced the best chance of it, no doubt about it. De Silva, who I can remember Rio De Silva looking lively at Watson Park in the 3-0 game, and he's one of those players you have to keep your eye on.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that move that just been absolutely proves that. He can be a dangerous, tricky little player, and as you say, we need to be a little bit careful of him.
Fred Burbage will restart from the goal away to our right-hand side. Ball lands on the halfway line on the head of John Clements. Further forward by Freddie Moncur. Out by Racine. Ball will land inside the Ware half. Ariamu over his shoulder looking for the on-running Adepoju, but Burbage sorts that out, and good tackle coming in from Wood on Liam Dawson. Otherwise Dawson would have been away down this left-hand side. Ladapo in possession, brings in Ariamu. Ariamu's ball couldn't find his brother, and Coker is in the way and will put it back to the goalkeeper Fred Burbage. Fred's kick, right-footed downfield. Unchallenged header from Racine, but Mitch Hahn will pick it up inside the centre circle, thread it forward, but to no real effect. And the ball goes back to the goalkeeper George Whitehall. And he failed to score twice this season, Ware. Seen both of those, once away at Biggleswade, which we'd like to forget, and the other one at home to Biggleswade Town. Two teams that will meet this afternoon. A little local difficulty, not so many miles away at the New Erie. Neither like each other, so it could be an interesting one as ball goes on that far side, and Dear Kessie does well to keep it in. David Soter has got to do the defending. So again, ball across the box all the way along the ground, and Siggers just thumps it out. Fielded by Joe O'Brien for a throw to Kempston, which Flavin will take on that far side. And this game at the moment, rather like the weather, is a bit chilly. Needs something to liven it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's not really been too many chances. Obviously, Kempston having that best chance of the game so far a couple of minutes ago, and then Ware, I think Ware's best chance obviously came from that shot from Clemo.
Well, home side got another opportunity here. Dear Kessie was adjudged to have been tugged back by David Soter on the edge of the area, and he is right on the edge of the area as well. Left-hand side, the Silver fancies it. He was there to it. There's a two-man Ware wall, Joe Dearman and Ben Siggers. Fred Burbage got to get his angles right here, and they've left Liam Dawson up front with two defenders, Flavin and Ladipo, with him. Everybody else round about that area. It's going to be Rio da Silva who's going to take the kick. He does, but it goes over the top of the crossbar and over the top of the fence, not giving Fred any problems whatsoever. So it's going to be a goal kick to a Ware team. I was saying they were 8th. The other games today were Wellingham City against Tame. Kings Langley against Bedford could be interesting. Kings Langley picking up a better form and Bedford on a bit of a wobble. The two Biggleswades meeting, Waltham Abbey away at Hadley, Cirencester against Kidlington, and then Leighton against North Lee could be interesting as well. As Liam Dawson picks the ball up in front of us. A little give and go was on with Jack Dreyer, but Jack Miss hits it and the ball goes out for a throw in. Jack Dreyer in the side because George Ironton, we spoke to him last week and he was saying the calf felt a little bit tight. Maybe the reason why he's on the subs bench this afternoon as Ware win the ball back with David Soter. Long ball forward. Clements wasn't there. The ball was headed down though pretty poorly by Ward, and away goes Joe Dearman, right hand side, tries to pull it across the box. Good challenge coming in by the number 6, though atones for his previous error, and then wins his side a free kick on that far side. Interesting chat with George, wasn't it, last week? I mean, he said about this Ware side that he was surprised there's no real leaders in this team. You don't hear a lot of shouting out there. No,
he did say that, and we was obviously discussing it after speaking to him, and I think that he has a very valid point. You think before, when they had obviously we got Lewis out at the moment, and Lee as well, as who went to Pottersbar Town, and they were two very vocal players on the pitch for them, weren't they? And really sort of like tried to do the players up. But in this side at the moment, there is that distinct lack of it, and I think that could be part of the issue for sure.
There's Liam Dawson going in down by the corner flag. Good challenge by Ladipo in the end. And Kempston will keep the ball in play, and via Wood will clear their lines. Well, in fact, the ball will go back to the goalkeeper, George Whitehall. Don't think he quite expected it, but had plenty of time to give it to Ward, who gives it to Flavin on that far side. Lewis, of course, about to complete his treatment, as I read on X earlier in the week. So if you're listening, mate, hopefully things will start looking brighter for you, and we look forward to seeing you back out in the park. I'm also hearing you back out in the park as Clements plays the ball forward for Jack Dreyer, but Dreyer is a couple of yards offside and rather like a half. Well, we really haven't got going so far yet to fit things together. I think, again, it's been for me all season, it's been that number 10 role that doesn't knit the play together too much. You've got Mitch and Freddie Moncur sitting in front of the back 4, but there's still a gap for me between them and the front 3.
Yeah, definitely. I think it needs to sort of the sort of player that's able to link the two together. Obviously, that's what the aim is. But it just doesn't seem to happen for them this season, does it? And I know there's been a lot of changes, a few injury problems and things like that. But I think it's definitely the position that Paul needs to look at most.
So the ball is back. Lapido lets it go under his feet. That could have been costly, but Ward was aware to it. And the way they come on this right-hand side with Albert Wood, that's a decent cross, and Furlong had to get there and puts the ball out for a throw-in, which will be taken on this near side. Goes in the box, but in the end it was a touch-in from Adepoju straight to Freddie Burbage. Gets it out quickly to Joe Dearman, who's advancing on the halfway line. Liam Dawson's yelling for it on this left-hand side because Wood had gone forward and was lacking in his marking duties, but couldn't pick him out, and Ware will have to make do with a throw-in on that far side after 28 minutes have gone by in the first half here at Hill Grounds. And it's got to be said, the team at the bottom of the table have had the best chance to break the deadlock so far. Not a great deal coming from Ware. Freddie Burbage has got the ball way outside his area. His kick forward is straight to Erin Amu, who gets it back again from Eko Goga. Amu's ball on this near side, but he rather caught Adepoju on his heels, and Siggers will collect it quite easily for Ware. Long one forward for Liam Dawson to go up with Wood, who does well. He's played well so far. Been impressed with him, the teenage right back. As Erin Amu puts the ball back and puts his team in trouble. And here goes Joe Dearman inside the area. Goalkeeper retreating, can't get there. Joe Dearman gives Ware the lead. And Kempston, it's got to be said, architects of their own downfall. He had some work to do. He did it well. And Joe Dearman, after 29 minutes of the match, scores his third of the season, and Ware lead 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, Pete, you know, some architects of their own downfall, and you know, perhaps that's where their issues have been this season. But you know, having been sort of, you know, had the better chances, and having had contained Ware for you know, for the 28 minutes of the game so far, that's a poor mistake to give away and you know, give Ware a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, if you're Richard Gill, you'd be pulling your hair out, wouldn't you, really? You can see the manager there just prowling up and down that technical area. You can't afford to do that, and you can't afford to do it when you're 9 points from safety at the bottom of the league. But a little credit to Joe Dearman. He had the opportunity and he had to take it, and he took it very well. Nestled in the bottom left-hand corner, and that should really mark lift-off for Ware, you would think. And they've scored first this season. They've only been defeated once and come back to draw once. They've won the other 10. And it won't surprise you to know that once Kempston have conceded the first goal this season, they've lost all 11. So big mountain to climb at the Hill Grounds for the home side. Here's the goal scorer, Joe Dearman. Puts the ball back inside his own half for David Sota. Sometimes as a away team, you need that little bit of luck to get you going. Let's see if it does it for Ware. The ball will go out on that far side for a throw-in to them. Away wins this season have come out Hartford, Cirencester, Cester and Leighton without conceding a goal. And then a comeback win at AFC Dunstable when they were 1 down at half-time and ended up winning the game. As ball on that far side is with Darian Furlong. Throw goes rather up rather than long, and it's Ward will get a chance to clear it, makes hard work of it, and in the end he manages to find Diakesi, who's robbed by John Clements, who just fires it in all the way along the ground into the arms of George Whitehall. Goalkeeper bowls it out to Gabriel Ward, far side looking for Flavin coming forward. There's not that much fluidity. If you take this Silver out of this team, then suddenly there's Kempston players looking around with who to give it to, and I think that's part of their problem as well. Wood's got that problem now with the ball at his feet, and he drives it straight at Joe Dearman on the halfway line. Flavin then skies it, and Jack Dreyer gets there first and wins the ball inside the centre circle. Clements, though, is beaten by Racine. And Racine turns away from Dreyer, chips it down the line, but Siggers is favourite to get there, and with his unfavoured right boot finds Fred Burbage. Fred's long kick forward onto the head of Ward on the halfway line. Erin Amu's given it away to Freddie Moncur. Finds Joe Dearman. Sota started the overlap going down the right-hand side. David Sota with that long stride. Thought about the first time cross, then does with the left foot, but Racine's there in the way. If he'd missed that, John Clements would surely have been in on goal. They've cleared it straight at Mitch Hahn again, though. Kempston struggling at the moment as Liam Dawson picks the ball up, plays it to Freddie Moncur. Freddie's ball on the far side, inviting David Soter to come forward. He's going to have to turn backwards away from Diakesi, though. And Darian Furlong will pick it up on the halfway line, and Aaron Amu gets in the way and just puts it out for a throw-in to the visitors. On that far side, we're leading here by a goal to nil, 29 minutes on the clock when Joe Dearman bursts through after the mistake by Aaron Amu in midfield to put Ware in front. Darian Furlong's got a throw-in to be taken on that far side. Never seems to hurry himself when he's taking a throw-in, just saunters over there like he's got all the time in the world. This time almost thought about the short one of Freddie Moncur. Does go long down the line though. Kept in by Dearman. Clements can't get there. Ladapo skies it towards Furlong again. Ladapo gets the header. We're in for a little bit of aerial tennis as it's brought back down by Mitch Hahn to bring in Joe Dearman on that far side. Dearman starts a little bit of a run and Dearman goes down under challenge. Flag goes up and Ware get themselves a free kick, which is going to be taken parallel to the edge of the 18-yard area. It's nothing for a manager really. I don't know whether Joe was going anywhere. A bit of a silly challenge by Flavin to give away a free kick in that area.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like there was any danger from from that position, did it? You know, it looked like he was, maybe sort of like, run it down to the byline, but it's another opportunity for Ware to extend their lead.
Coker's come up from the back. He and Racine are having a bit of wrestling as Ben Siggers is going to shield his eyes and take the kick with the left boot. Mitch Hahn's made his way to the near post on the edge of the 6-yard box as well. So it's going to be Ben Siggers who's going to take it in for Ware. Plenty of movement in that area. A high one goes up. Whose head gets there first? It's Ward. Goalkeeper's got to come and collect it. Spills it, but the referee gives a free kick. John Clements gives that kind of look that says, well, what was that for? And you do find that sometimes, don't you, with referees? I mean, you get a goalkeeper in that position and they are pretty protective.
Yeah, it does seem that they sort of like get the benefit of the doubt of the goalkeepers, doesn't it? Sometimes, and I mean, sometimes you can understand it, but sometimes I think the decision is a little light.
10 minutes to go before the break. The goalkeeper George Whitehall's not the biggest in the league, it's got to be said, as Ward picks the ball up midway inside his own half and brings in Flavin onto the halfway line for Aaron Amu, puts it all the way back to Gabriel Ward, who puts it all the way back to George Whitehall, gives him back to the teenage defender on that far side of the field. Measured build up, trying to stay on side, and Ariamu is on side, left hand side of the box, but Soter's there, and that's a good challenge by David Soter. Takes the ball away from Amu and puts it down the line for Joe Dearman, who got a fragrant shove in the back from Flavin that the referee didn't seem to notice, and suddenly Joe's gone for the ball and Ladipo does go down and he does give a free kick. Well, it's going to be a free kick to Kempston, 15 yards inside the Ware half, far side of the field. Joe just having a little bit of a word with our referee. Rio Silva is the man who's going to take it. Matthew Racine and Gabriel Ward have come up from the back. Racine by far the biggest aerial threat as far as Kempston is concerned, but that free kick's not going to beat the first man, who's David Soter. Liam Dawson picks it up the halfway line, being held by Flavin. The referee lets the play go on as Joe Dearman picks it up on that far side. Dearman going down the touchline. Dearman still going. Joe Dearman down by the corner flag, goes down under challenge from Adepoju, and in the end the referee gives Kempston a throw-in. Well, I think Joe was a bit unlucky there. If he'd gone down under that first challenge where he tried to keep his feet, surely he would have got a free kick.
Yeah, I think absolutely. It should have been a free kick, and I'm surprised the referee let the play go on there. Really, it's that was more obvious than the one previously, I believe.
Lee Flavin's going to take the throw-in to Aaron Amu, just skies it towards the halfway line. Echo Coker's got an easy job of bringing it down, plenty of time. Another high ball from him, but pretty aimless, and George Whitehall will collect that one. Sorry, the first half really. Missed opportunity by Rio da Silva at one end, and a goal given away at the other end when Aaron Amu's stray pass gave Joe Dearman a clear run on goal, and he did well to bury his third goal of the season. Story of fairly unconvincing first half by both teams, if truth be told. Diakesi on that far side against David Sota. Diakesi turning left, turning right. Sota's there, and in the end he gives Kempston their first corner of the afternoon. And David Sota again sticking to his job well.
Yeah, I think David Sota is having a good game so far. You know, he's been very reliable and dependable in there, and you know, as you said earlier, it's nice to see him back.
Yeah, I think as we've said all season, he's had a good season. He's fitted in well, and very adaptable player, playing the centre of defence, playing the left, playing the right, playing a 3, playing a 4. He can do all of them. Corner's going to come from De Silva on that far side. Decent one. Fred Burbage under challenge though. It's an excellent punch which lands midway inside his own half. Dearman brings in Freddie Moncur, who's ball down the line, tries to pick out Jack Dreyer, but Dreyer can't keep it in, and it goes out for a throw in to Kempston, just about 10 yards inside their own half, far side of the field. Lee Flavin will take the throw in for them. I don't think we'll have too much added on at the end of this half when it comes to it. Neither trainer, sponge person, therapist, or whatever you do call them these days has been on the pitch. As Flavin's throw lands, Joe Dearman goes flying forward. Referee unconvinced, and Diakesi comes up with the ball, but once again David Sota gets a foot in, and Kempston will get themselves a throw in to be taken on that far side again by Lee Flavin. 6 minutes to go before the break. Ware leading by a 1-0. Would like a more convincing performance, but points, well, they all count when you're looking for a place in the playoffs. Got some defending to be done here from the cross though. That goes all the way across the area. De Silva's first to relax on the other side, puts the ball back across the area once again. Went across the area from left to right and then right to left, allowing Joe Dearman to pick it up. Long ball forward, looking for Clements, and nothing doing. As far as Ware are concerned, he'll be happy with the lead, Simon, but I don't know if he'll be happy with the performance.
No, I don't think he will be happy with the performance. You know, it's been very limited, hasn't it? You know, they've not really created many chances, and I think, you know, Paul will definitely want that extra goal there for a little bit of added security for them.
Ball deep inside Ware territory. Relief Flavin chips it up with the right boot. Out comes Fred Burbage and collects it very comfortably. Plenty of scope for change on the bench. Kieran Bishop, George Ironton and Ramiah Mills and Matt Walsh for that matter could all offer an attacking threat, so there is plenty of room for change should Paul Halsey wish to do so. Long ball forward which Liam Dawson brings down, but in the end he's rather shoved off the ball by Adepoju. Showed decent strength. Kempston will know all about Liam Dawson, of course. He scored 6 goals against them in 5 appearances, so a striker very much who's usually in form against the Walnut Boys. Ward brings it forward, comes towards the halfway line and then squares it for Ladipo. Ladipo for Mathieu Racine. Racine's chip ball looking to go over the top of Ben Siggers, and Siggers just scuffs it in the end and goes high and behind for a corner. I thought he had a bit more time than that. Ben Siggers can often catch you out these corners needlessly given away, can't they? Yeah,
I mean, we've had a couple of situations before so far this season with corners that, as you say, that have been given away unnecessarily, that have cost teams a goal, and I do feel that Ben had a little bit more time to deal with that. Seemed to just panicked a little bit and tried to kick it out of play.
Rio De Silva will take the corner for Kempston. Ware have kept 2 forward at this one. Joe Dearman and Liam Dawson are forward. Everybody else inside that 18-yard box. Here comes the corner from the right-hand side. Goes for the near post. Once again doesn't beat the first man, who's Freddie Moncur. Freddie half-hearted, well, not even half-hearted. I wouldn't have thought appeal for a penalty against Freddie as he turns away from Albert Wood. De Silva's got it back for Kempston, though. Plays the ball in for Ariamu. It breaks to Wood, who on this side will keep the ball in play. Ball's across from this near side, then out by Hoka to John Clements midway inside his own half. High ball, Dawson forward with Lapido, who does well and via Clavin and Racine will put the ball back to his goalkeeper George Whitehall. And nothing doing for Ware on that particular occasion, and been much doing up front all half really, apart from Joe Dearman's goal after 29 minutes, which separates the two teams. Mitch Hahn, though, a chance to set something up now, finds John Clement midway inside the Kempston half. Nothing on the right until David Sota arrives there with Joe Dearman as well. Sota tries to go round Diakesi, then pulls the ball back for Joe Dearman, forcing him to go backwards though. The momentum of the attack rather wanes, but Dearman's left-footed cross is easily bounced upon by George Whitehall on the edge of his area. Long kick forward by the goalkeeper 2 minutes to go before the break, as Freddie Moncur pushes it forward. Aaron Amu though will find the lively De Silva, and if there's anybody who's going to unlock Ware's defence, I think he's going to be the man, as on this near side Adepoju finds Ladipo. Adepoju continues down the right hand side. Siggers is the defender. Adepoju's just inside the area, pulls it across. Ladipo is De Silva, but his lack of control puts the ball forward by Coker, and Racine is robbed of it by John Clements, but in the end it bobbles around off a few legs, and Whitehall will clear. Long one upfield, which his fellow keeper Freddie Burbage will watch and police into his own penalty area and just pick it up as Ariamu gets towards him. Half-time whistle is imminent into the last minute of the half here at Ale Grounds. Half-time sequence, tell you a little bit about where we are at Kempston, and also we'll tell you what's been going on in Southern League Division 1 Central. Every match day now is a big one, as we have gone past the halfway mark in the season. Is Liam Dawson, left-hand side of the box. Once again, Albert Wood gets a foot in, but the ball goes behind for a corner, and he's having a decent game, the teenage number 3. Yeah,
he's doing very well, isn't he? You know, he's containing Liam nicely. You know, we know obviously how dangerous Liam can be, and I think he's dealt with him perfectly.
Mitch Harm will take the corner for Ware. Darian Furlong staying home, but Echo Goka's come up from the back. Joe Dearman's going into the 6-yard box. Everybody else kind of dotted around the 18-yard area as Mitch spots the ball down and prepares to take the corner with the right boot towards the near post. Helped on and helped into the back of the net by Echo Goka. On by John Clements, in by Goka for his second of the season. Easy as you like, and just the right time to double their advantage. Where go 2 up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you say, perfect time to to get a goal to double their lead just before half time. And I mean, that was a great goal, well worked, and definitely one from the training ground. That one, I think. Yeah,
I think many a Tuesday night spent when they weren't playing, putting that one together. Perfectly turned on by John Clements at the near post, and Big Echo Goka. Well, when he's got a head of steam inside the 18-yard box, you're not going to get near him, and he forces in his second goal of the season. I think Echo scored 2 goals this season. I don't think one's been from beyond a yard out, has it?
I don't think it has it? No. But I mean, as you say, when he's steaming into to head of that ball in. If you get in your way, I don't think you're going to come off better, are you?
Absolutely. Scored his first against Welwyn Garden City. Very similar circumstances, actually, in the 5-4 defeat. Well, not going Kempston's way, it's got to be said. 2-0 they trail here. They haven't played badly, it's got to be said, but haven't really posed a threat apart from Rio De Silva's shot, which went just over the top. And otherwise, well, in front of the goal, they've only scored 9 first-half goals all season. Now conceded 25. And as far as Ware are concerned, those 2 goals, I mean, they've scored 21 in the opening 45 minutes of games this season. They've scored 56 goals in all competitions this season. As the ball back with George White. All things to think about for both managers at half-time. Fairly happy ball, although despite the 2-0 lead, I don't think he'll be happy with the performance. But certainly Ware at the moment well on their way. Half-time here at Ale Grounds, they lead Kempston Rovers 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think Paul's got to be happy with the scoreline definitely so far. But as you said, chances have been limited. And when they've had those chances, they've taken them well to give themselves a 2-0 lead. And I think on comparison, you think about things. Obviously, the 3 points is the important thing at the end of the day. So I'm sure we can see Paul walking here towards us. I'm sure he's got a little smile on his face.
Yeah, I think, as you say, it's all about the 3 points from here on in the season, really, because it's all about getting yourself in those playoff places. So we're into the half-time sequence here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, where we always tell you a little bit about our opponents and where we are this afternoon. Well, we're in the village, I call it, of Kempston, 2 miles southwest of Bedford on the River Giant Ouse, which is just over the way behind the trees there. Originally known for its gravel pits, including here at Hills Grounds, which is now football pitch and home to Kempston Rovers. Probably the popular feature in Kempston is Addison Howard Park, which was formerly part of the Grange estate and left to the people of Kempston by Mrs. Howard, and named after her son Lieutenant Addison James Howard, who was killed at the Battle of the Somme in 1916. Now, within Addison Howard Park, they've got a tree trail which includes the common walnut. Now that's where the walnut bit comes from in the Kempston Rovers badge, and also the nickname is the Walnut Boys. And that walnut tree in Addison Howard Park is in memory of Walter Harter, who had a walnut orchard of 365 trees at one stage and supplied walnuts to Petticoat Lane Market, and really put Kempston on the map as far as the local capital of the walnut world. So not the walnut world, but the walnut world. So that's how the walnut connection comes. Now, we always, every week, try and find a Muppet connection. And the Muppet connection, it's a bit of a convoluted one, I'll tell you, but this is quite a story, actually. Our Muppet connection comes courtesy of Frances Latham. And we have to go all the way back to 1609, when she was born here in Kempston. Spent quite a few years of her life here in Bedfordshire before getting married and moving to New England, and then starting a family tree which included an incredible number of people. 12 state governors in the United States, and some real famous descendants in her family tree, which included Edgar Allan Poe, cartoonist James Thurber, Marilyn Monroe, Lucille Ball, Karen Carpenter, and of course, creator of the Muppets, Jim Henson. Now, I'm not quite sure what he was. That was his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, probably. But he is a direct descendant of Lady of Kempston, Frances Latham. So there's your Muppet connection for this particular Saturday. The club, by the way, here were formed in 1884. Well, they didn't really play their first match till 1887, and that's when the rugby club here at Kempston decided to turn to football. And since we've had Kempston Rovers, which is a really good and nice community football club in this part of Bedfordshire. Famous players, well, one famous player really, Isaac McLeod, who I saw play for Barnet on numerous occasions. Used to play for Charlton, striker as well. Actually, I saw him booked once at Northampton for walking too slowly off the pitch, which is one of the few times I've ever seen a player booked for walking too slowly off the pitch. So that's a little bit about where we are at Kempston. And meanwhile, in Southern League Division 1 Central...
Yes, we have the half-time results here for you. So here we go. Aylesbury United 0, AFC Dunstable 1. In the Biggleswade derby, it's the visitors, Biggleswade Town, who have the lead at half-time. That is also 1-0 to them. It's no score between Cirencester Town and Kidlington, so that one is 0-0 at half-time. Goals at Hadley, though. They're playing Wolfram Abbey, and Hadley have a 3-1 lead over them. Game between Kings Langley and Bedford. Bedford, who, as Pete said earlier, have been on a bit of a wobble lately. They seem to have stopped that for now, this afternoon. They've got a 3-0 lead there. And the team who is at the top of the league, Northley, they are visiting Leighton Town, which we thought would be an interesting game, but Northley are 2-0 up in that game. It's level 0-0 between Stopfold and Barton Rovers, and in the game at the Pexhurst between Welling Garden City, and Tame United. Tame United did take a 1-0 lead, but Welling Garden City have levelled through Cyrus Baboat.
Well, another goal for Cyrus, but Weatherstone won't be too happy with that. At half-time you wouldn't have thought, but got themselves back on level terms. So here we go again at the top of the table, don't we? With Waltham Abbey losing at Hapley, Cirencester only drawing against Kinglington, and Kings Langley and Leighton, who were both above Ware this morning, are both on the wrong end of things. So it's all change again tonight by the look of it, because all those results at the moment, this is Ware's day, because the 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in front of them, not one of them are winning.
No, I mean, it's so chop and change, isn't it, every week? It just seems that no one really, apart from Bedford and Northley, seem to want to cement a place in that top 5, and I think that goes to show things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. Football coming up in the week then. Welling Garden City against Kempston at the Pexhurst, live from 7:40 on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. Look forward to getting down there. And then where will Beaton Simon be next Saturday? Well, the answer is the Smile IT. The Hartford taking on Kings Langley. I haven't seen Kings Langley so far this season, so a new club for us. And it should be an interesting game for the Hartford team, who again, this thing about having 19 teams in this division, and it's just so stop-start, isn't it? I mean, you have a Christmas break, and then suddenly you play 2 games in 3 days, and then you don't play another one for 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has been tough for them, hasn't it? I mean, it's as you say, it's that inconvenience, I think, for everyone, to be stop start, and it can't make things easy. I'm sure Ben will have taken advantage, and he'll have organised an extra training session, or perhaps a behind closed doors friendly for today. But there's nothing that like playing a game in the league, is there?
No, there's certainly not. Although they are in action in midweek, by the way, on Tuesday night, because they are Hearts Senior Cup quarter-final against what in effect will be Watford's under-23 team. Will be at Smile IT on Tuesday with a 7:45 kick-off, and a little bit of football on Wednesday as well in the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South, where St Margaret's-Bury go to Basildon Town, and St Margaret's-Bury are in real trouble of dropping out of that division. They're in 20th at the moment, and this afternoon haven't got an easy game at all. They're taking on Clapton Community, the league leaders, so things are a bit bleak at St Margaret's-Bury at the moment. Yeah,
it's not looking good for them at all, is it? It's been a tough couple of years for them, the way things have gone, and this season it's not too bad, but it is good news for them at the moment, because they are 2-1 up at half time, Pete. So against Clapton Community, I think that's a good 45 minutes for them.
It's a very good 45 minutes indeed, and more of the same hopefully in the second 45. Let's move on to the 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Golden Boot, where there's a 4-goal lead at the top of the table now. Eben Mabona got himself on the score sheet last week for Hatfield Town, and he's now moved on to 22 goals, 4 goals in front of his teammates Kamari Collington, with Liam Dodson also hovering there on 18 goals. Then have to go 1 goal back to Jamie Marshall of Hertford Heath. Haven't got a game today, so he won't be adding to that. He's got 17. Louis Debenham of Westmill, who are at home to Bovington Reserves today, has got 12, and Kendall Giamphy of AFC Welling, who are away to New Bradwell St Peter in Spartan Southern League Division 2, has got 12.
And speaking of Kendall Giamphy and AFC Welling, they are 1-0 up. There's not too long to go in their game, and in fact I think their game's actually finished by now, but it was 1-0 to them, and Jack Bradshaw with the goal for them, but nothing confirmed on the full-time result just yet for them. I'll tell you about the women's Golden Boot. Not too much changing. Yes, there was a few games last week, but some were called off. Some teams couldn't get a team out, so some teams were given walkover wins. It was mainly Chris Renshaw Cup action last week in the Beds and Hearts, and Hertford Town, they had a game as well. Laura Cousins of Sherrard's Wood, she is still leading the way on 13, closely followed by Paige Pryor from St Margaret's Bury on 12 and Jessica Duff from Bury Rangers on 11. And then tied for fourth place with 9 goals is Claire Cranfield, also of Sherrard's Wood, and Sophie Vale from Watson Park Ladies.
So, plenty of good goal scorers in the local region, in both the men's and women's games. Subwatch tells me, I'm trying to work out who's missing here, but I've only got, I'm going to see 4 Ware subs out there.
Well, Matt Walsh is definitely there, we can see him.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to miss Matt Walsh, really, wouldn't it? Michael Doner's there, George Ironton's gone in goal, and Kieran Bishop's there, which would lead me to suggest that Ramiah Mills is the missing man somewhere.
Ramiah Mills is just down.
Ramiah's in front of us, so there we go.
Him.
So nothing doing. I don't really think there's any cause for any great change as far as we're concerned at half-time. Kempston, I don't know. It's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, they are a club that have probably spent most of their time in football at step 5. They've been up step 4 for a couple of times. And I mean, look at last season they were up there, weren't they? They were in the top 10, and they were almost knocking on the playoff door. But suddenly, then you've got a change of manager, and Chris Nunn was the manager here last year, did well, then went to AFC Russian and Diamonds, I think. Got a new manager in this season at the beginning of it. James Hall, he didn't last till the second week in September, I think he was sacked, which was difficult, destabilising. I don't know, is that a knee-jerk reaction? Should you give your manager more chance? I don't know.
Well, I think at this sort of level, midway through September, it is a little bit early to be changing managers. Maybe there was a reason that we don't know behind it. Obviously we don't know the full details, but as you say, it's been difficult for them. You have a changing manager, obviously you have a changing players and staff around and things like that. And that obviously doesn't help things. Obviously, I don't know what sort of budget they've got. I can't imagine with these sort of crowds and facilities that there would be any fantastic kind of budget, especially when you compare it to teams up the road as Bedford Town, for example, who obviously when you've got other teams close to you as well, that obviously has an impact as well, doesn't it? If you're after a player, they want a player as well, and that team's got a bigger budget, they're more likely to finish in the higher positions in the league. And it's to me it's an easier choice for a player to choose that better team. But nice crowd down here. Nice friendly people. We got a nice welcome, and obviously after the 90 minutes of today, we wish them the best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think not only you got Bedford Town, you got real Bedford as well, haven't you?
Of course, yeah.
Top of the Spartan South Midlands at the moment. So a club with a lot of ambition about them, got a bit of money about them as well. So as you're saying, if you are trying to get these players together, it's very difficult. I think certainly the one that's impressed me has been Albert Wood, the young fullback, who's playing on that right-hand side. But they've got a job to do in the second half as the teams come out. We're leading by 2-0, pretty comfortable in doing so. Joe Dearman and Echo Coker, the goal scorers for Paul Hawes' team. And with no substitutions, it looks likely. I'll take you through the 2 team lineups before we get underway again. For Ware, Fred Burbage in goal, flat back 4, David Soter at right back, Ben Siggers at left back, 2 centre backs, Darian Furlong and Echo Koga. Freddie Moncur and Mitch Hahn are the shields in front of the back four, with Jack Dreyer playing just in front of them, and a three-man front line of Joe Dearman on the right, Liam Dalton on the left, and John Clements through the middle. As far as Kempston are concerned, they will line up once again with George Whitehall, Lee Flavin, Albert Wood, Lonere Lapido, Matthew Racine, Gabriel Ward, Joshua Adepoju, Erinamu, Ariamu, Rio da Silva, and Larrick Diakesi. So just about to get the second half underway, with Kempston kicking from right to left. Our commentary position just about 5 yards inside the half, being defended by Freddie Burbage and Ware during this second half. And away we go, as the ball threaded back to Matthew Racine, the big central defender. So we've got floodlights on there. We've only got one other corner on, nothing in the middle at the moment. But here's Diakesi going forward, but linesman's flag goes up on that far side. Where's substitutes, by the way? Kieran Bishop, George Ironton, Ramaya Mills, Michael Toner and Matt Walsh. So plenty of attacking intent there, most definitely. Whereas Fred Burbage will take the free kick for Ware, wearing their home strip this afternoon of blue and white striped shirts. Joe Dearman goes up, headed forward, and in the end Labibo can control it, and Ware will have a throw midway inside the Kempston half. Pretty much amounting to kind of Kempston anyway, but you think if Ware score early in the second half, it really will be game over, as Jack Dreyer gives the ball away, and Siggers, unchallenged, will head the ball back into the Kempston half, brought down by De Silva, who just nips it away from Freddie Moncur and tries to play it out on that far side to release Adepoju, but in the end it will go all the way back to Fred Burbage, as the light just begins to fade here. I turn on the 90 minutes live in association with the Easy Shelf personal floodlight, which lights up the clipboard. But could do with about on the pitch at the moment, the dull side out there. It's Diakesi can't get the ball beyond David Soter, and Joe Dearman, though, lets it go off the top of his leg, and Diakesi will get it back for Kempston. For De Silva, looking for Erinamu, who'd made the run forward, but Burbage is there quite easily to collect the ball on the edge of his 18-yard box. Fred Burbage back fit now, after Sam Bentley, as we were saying in the first half, did such a good job deputising the young 19-year-old who came on loan from St Albans City. Long kick forward by Fred. Racine is there first, headed back in by David Soter. Mitch Hahn robs Rio da Silva on the far side, tries to bring in Liam Dalton, and does. Dalton's left-hand side of the box. Dalton fires the shot in, but it goes wide of the target. Not too much for George Whitehall to worry about, but he did, for the first time probably, get beyond Albert Wood there. Yeah,
I think that's the first time that he's managed to to get some sort of an opportunity. So maybe there's been a different sort of focus for him, and different ideas for him to take those opportunities.
Here is Albert Wood in forward position, puts the ball back to Erinamu, and we'll go back on the halfway line for Racine, who finds Rio da Silva. Very much the pick of the men in red and white. He's up Diakesi on this left-hand side. Diakesi going for the run against David Soter, who just gets a boot in. It comes back to Flavin. Flavin's cross on the far side, headed out by Siggers, and Jack Dreyer will release Mitch Hahn, whose long ball forward looks for Clement. It's nipped away from him once again by Wood, though, to Gabriel Ward, to 18-year-old defenders. And Ward looking on this near side to release the ball for De Silva, who's not offside, or is he? Yes, he is. I think he was a little bit unlucky there, Rio da Silva. Tried to hold the line, and in the end he was adjudged by the assistant, who, to be fair to him, was right in line on that far side. He was in an offside position, so it's going to be a free kick to Ware, which Darion Furlong will leave to Fred Burbage, all in lime green this afternoon. Fred with the right boots upfield. We've seen this favourite to beat Jack Dreher in the air and does, on by Erin Amu. Labido towards the halfway line. It's the ball won again by Jack Dreher in midfield. Finds Mitch Hahn. It's Dawson again. Wood is in front of him and stuck together. Those two gets in the box. Clements can't get his head to it, and in the end it ricochets out to Albert Wood on the edge of the area. Opportunity perhaps there for Ware. Wood's ball has found Ariamu. Not offside, motoring him down that right hand side, but unfortunately for Kempston he couldn't keep the ball in play, and it will go out for a throw in to Ware. And not too much change really from first half in the way this second half settling down at the moment.
No, it seems to be the same pace, the same sort of things happening in this half. But it's early stages yet, so let's see if we hopefully we can get a bit more exciting action for the remainder of the half.
7 minutes gone, second half, and it's Ware who lead by 2-0, scored by Joe Dearman, who's collecting the ball here now. Right in front of us, and Echo Goga. Joe on the halfway line, nice footwork, brings in Mitch Hahn. Mitch sends Joe further down this right-hand side. Across comes Ward, good tackle coming in from the central defender. Takes the ball out for a throw-in to Ware on this near side, and we know what's going to happen here as Darian Furlong strolls up from the back and will prepare to take another one of those long throws, and sauntering up from the back is Echo Goga. 1 goal to his name already, Ware's big number 5. And Furlong certainly will be aiming it in his direction. John Clements is on the near post as well, as Darian Furlong just waves players a little bit towards him. Here comes the throw. It is a long one. Up goes Clements, heads it up in the air, and in the end referee spotted something in there, which he gives Kempston Rovers a free kick. So looking at the top of the table, only Ware hold on to this, which we expect them to do so. They'll go into 32 points tonight, and then suddenly they'll be 2 points behind Waltham Abbey with a game in hand, with the two due to meet in about 3 or 4 weeks, I think. That's one which will be on 90 Minutes Live. It'll be interesting. So certainly game back on for the playoffs. They did this last year, of course, where hit a bad patch around about November to January, and then suddenly steamed forward. Ended up in 5th place in the division. Took you 59 points last season to get in the playoff positions, where currently, of course, have 29, so we'll be looking for another 30 points from their remaining games, as Kempston coming forward. Amu's progress is blocked by Jack Dreher, but he gives the ball back to him, and the shot's going to fire in and it's going to go in the back of the net as Ware couldn't get it clear, and it's Joshua Adepoju who gives Kempston a way back into the match.
Yeah, I mean, you think, that's disappointing defending there from Ware, isn't it? They should have been able to deal with that. Should have been able to get that ball, get it out of play, and obviously, he's found that shot, he's turned, and he's managed to put the ball behind Fred.
Well, that's the one thing you didn't want, is to give away a goal fairly early in the second half. Home team who now will have their tails up a little bit, and from Paul Halsey's point of view, well, if we're going to ask him about that goal after the game, I think we'll have to duck, as Liam Dawson tries to take on Wood, does so, gets the ball across the area, and it's Racine who's in the way, and gives Ware a corner to be taken on that far side. His defensive frailties have let them down all season, and that definitely looked like the league's second worst defence against the league's worst attack, but Kempston kept plugging away, and that's all you can do, and got themselves back into the match. To see what Ware can do from this corner. Mitch Harm's got it on that far side of the field. Mitch's corner, high one, it fades everybody, and Darian Furlong came in on the far post, and just a touch would surely have taken that in the back of the net. Yeah,
I think it would have done, wasn't it? It's bounced across the box, hasn't it? All it needed was a slight head or a slight tip of a boot to extend or get that 2-goal lead back.
Well, they still lead it, but only by a single goal, as Erin moves forward to his brother Harry, forward by Missed kick by Ben Siggers, and luckily Sota was quick to react to it, or else Ware could have been in trouble again. Joe Dearman's deep inside his own half. Sota stabs it forward for Jack Dreyer, aids it in the general direction of Joe Dearman, but it's back with Rio de Silva for Kempston Rovers. De Silva back onto the halfway line for Lapido. Lapido back for Gabriel Ward. He's Lani Lapido again, all the way back to Ward. Ward's chip ball forward, looking once again on this side to release Diaketsu, who I did think was offside. Erin Amu will try and put it across the area, and Darian Furlong's in the way. And, the official got the previous one right, but I think he missed one there.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, definitely looked offside from that one, didn't he? And, one of the, you'd have expected the linesman's flags to go up there, definitely.
Bit of a different feel about this game at the moment, as Kempston have got a corner on this near side. Rio de Silva will be the man that will take the corner for them. On the goal line is Albert Wood, battling away with Siggers and Fred Burbage. The corner is going to the far post. It's brought back in by Ward to the edge of the area, and Ware still struggling to get it clear. And Ari Lebo, well, my word, Ari Lebo has put it into the back of the net, and Ware's defensive frailties have cost them again. And suddenly, from a 2-goal lead, it's 2-2.
Well, I mean, once again, as you say, those dealing with those crosses, those dealing with things inside the box, to let Ware down yet again. You've got Clemo grabbing the ball. He's telling everyone to calm down. I think I know we said about leadership things. Seems like he's sort of like taking charge of things a little bit here. Trying to get everyone sort of tell them to calm down. And they need to sort of like calm their heads for at least the next few minutes. Otherwise, they could find themselves behind here.
Wow, 2 goals in 3 minutes have turned this one on its head. Ware were comfortably in front, 2-0 at the break, and suddenly they've let 2 quick goals in. Defensive errors, both occasions, and Kempston right back in the game and believing they can get something out of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? After sort of like the start to the second half that they've had, and I know we said Ware went 2-0 up just before the half-time break, but 2 quick goals for Kempston, and they'll have their tails up. And they'll have the belief that they can do something and get something out of this game for sure.
I think they're going to be forced into a change as Lee Flavin, who's not going to take any further part. And indeed, the board's up on that far side to say that Isaiah Brown-Smith is going to come on for Lee Flavin. He's a recent addition to their squad here, 26-year-old who used to play at Crawley Green. He's a left-back by trade, so it's going to be a straight replacement, one for t'other, as Ware prepare to take a free kick on that far side. Wolsey's reaction, by the way, was to send a couple of substitutes out on that far side to warm up. George Ironson's having a little bit of a drink by the side of the dugout as well. I think changes might be afoot, but meanwhile, we've got Richard Keel, the Kempston manager, who's coming across here.
I think, but from what he's saying, I think there's a problem with one of the floodlights in this far right corner, because I saw the referee go over to the bench to speak to him, and he signalled to him to go running across the pitch. He's pointing up towards the top of the stand here, so it looks like there might be some sort of floodlight issue, but obviously we can't see it with the roof of the stand in our way.
I think it does look dull, doesn't it, in that corner?
Yeah.
Got to say, as Brown-Smith comes on to play at left back. The referee's happy for things to continue by the look of it. And Ware's free kick will be taken by Mitch Hahn. Bit of wrestling going on the edge of the 18-yard box. And Mitch's kick is almost meets John Clement's head. He's headed out to the edge of the area, and it's Brown-Smith who gets a really good touch on it, but it's overrun by Rio de Silva, and Mitch Hahn will get it back on this near side for Joe Dearman. Ware needs to pick up a bit of pace as Dearman goes down under challenge from Diaketsu and win themselves a free kick midway inside the Kempston Rovers half. Joe Dearman will take that free kick for Paul's side. We'll have substitutes warming up down by the corner flag. In fact, it's Darian Furlong who's going to take the kick now. Still looks a bit dull on that side, but the referee obviously happy for things to continue. Furlong's kick doesn't meet the first man, but it'll break on the edge of the area. Go, couldn't get a shot in, goes down, fired in by Mitch Hahn. Will break to John Clements, couldn't get a shot away, and suddenly back in the opposite direction come Kempston with Rio De Silva. De Silva's ball on this near side for Aaron Amu, who will get the ball in play. In fact, it's Ariamu. Ariamu against David Sota, plays the ball to De Silva. De Silva, step over. More tricks than a box of Tommy Goobers there, but in the end he's given the ball away. And Sota will clear it towards John Clements. Racine, towering header, helped on by Aaron Amu, who goes down under challenge from Freddie Moncur. And Kempston will have themselves a free kick midway inside the Ware half. And the referee, I think, is reaching for a guard here. It certainly is. It looks like Freddie is going to be the first one to get in the referee's book. Freddie Moncur gets himself booked and becomes Ware's 41st yellow card of the season. And the free kick is midway right, slap bang midway inside the Ware half. Rio De Silva is the man who will be taking the kick with his right boot. De Silva plays the ball on that far side, headed down, and the ball's got in the back of the net from Diakesi. The former Ware man makes his old club pay, and from 2-0 down, Kempston Rovers are 3-2 in front.
I mean, that's going to be disappointing, isn't it? One of those mistakes again. No, it's disappointing for Ware. They've not managed to deal with things at all there, have they? They've conceded yet again. I mean, that's 3 goals in just a matter of minutes in this second half. And you see on the Ware faces that they need to get hold of things. Otherwise, this game's really going to slip away from them.
Wow. 61 minutes gone, and in those 16 minutes in the second half, Kempston Rovers have scored 3. And let's be a little bit about that. Before this game, they'd only scored 7 at home all season. They've scored as many in 16 minutes against Ware here to take the lead by 3-2. And this crazy season we're witnessing here on 90 Minutes Live continues. This has the feel of Welwyn Garden City against Ware about it again. I don't think that's the last we've seen of the scoring here. 3-2 Kempston lead, and Ware need to get a grip on this. Well, they're going to be only the 3rd team this season to be beaten by Kempston Rovers in the league. Here's Freddie Moncur, lets the ball slip under his foot, and suddenly Kempston have got their tails up, although De Silva gives the ball away. But here is Albert Woods. Will they look to get De Silva away on that far side? Dawson's path is blocked by Racine. He was being shoved by Aaron Amu. And Ware have themselves a free kick. It's going to be taken midway inside the Kempston half. Ben Siggers has the ball at his feet. And at the moment, Ware are in trouble. Mitch Hahn, in fact, is going to take the kick. Coker's come up from the back again. When he made it 2-0, it seemed to be plain sailing. But certainly not at the moment. Mitch Hahn's kick is a decent one up in the air. Ward was the last one to head it. Coker and Diakesi are wrestling at the far post, but in the end, the ball just bounces into the arms of the keeper, George Whitehall. And a pretty big crow decides to land just by the halfway line. Ravens and Tower of London and all those kind of things. Well, at the moment anyway, it's Ware that are really up against it. They trail there by 3-2, having led 2-0 at half-time. There's Gabriel Ward. We were saying at half-time how the results were going their way. Well, they're going to need to go their way if this continues for them to get anywhere near the playoffs. Ward chips the ball forward for Lapido, just nips it over the head of Freddie Moncur, who brings it down. Freddie's got to be careful. He's the only player so far on a yellow card. Not too many signs of a Ware change at the moment, is there? Although I think they could be going for the board. I think they do need to change something up here. They've got plenty of attacking on the bench, and the likes of Kieran Bishop particularly. So the ball on this near side, played back to Gabriel Ward for Kempston Rovers, gets it back off to Silver. It's Ware's time now. John Clements is the man who's yelling some instructions to his team from the front, but it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, George Whitehall. Whitehall's long kick forward, and coming in on that far side was Albert Wood, and it was a good job Siggers got there first and read it. Well, Ware could have been in further trouble. Fred Burbage's long kick forward. Ward's header lands with Jack Dreher, but Racine anywhere will do, and in the end one bounce takes it on that far side to the arms of Joe O'Brien in front of the dugout. I mentioned Kieran Bishop, he's just put his shirt on. Sometimes feel they're listening to us on that bench, you know. Ball goes out for a throw in to Ware, which Mitch Hahn will take. His throw, though, is pretty aimlessly straight into the chest of Racine, who puts it out again for another throw-in, which Darian Furlong will take on that far side, parallel to the edge of the 18-yard area being defended by Kempston Rovers. Change is imminent, but not before this long throw has come in from Darian Furlong. Koga there, John Clements inside the 6-yard box. Koga tries to get it back over the top of Racine, but it's thumped away by Erin Amu and goes out of play once again in front of the Ware dugout, where Darian Furlong will take it, but not before Ware have made the change. Kieran Bishop on, Freddie Moncur off. Kind of cool, I thought it would have been him or Mitch Hahn. So Kieran Bishop will go straight up front, Ware will revert to a straight 4-4-2. And, well, they had to do something, and Kieran Bishop, if you want a goal, is a man who can provide one.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good decision from Paul there, especially taking Freddie off. You know he's on a yellow card. We just had that challenge there. The referee said to him, to calm things down a little bit. So perhaps he's the more sensible man to take off. But as you say, going to the 4-4-2. And let's hope Kieran Bishop can work some magic.
Well, he's going to need to. We're trailing here as John Clements robs the ball off Lapido. The ball's put through by Bishop in the end, but it just ricochets away. And Albert Wood does well, puts it down the line and maintains possession for his team. Long ball forward by Lapido, and Koga will pick out Fred Burbage outside his area. Fred's long one forward, one bounce though will land quite happily at the feet of Albert Wood. And symptomatic again of the fact that Ware were 2 up at half time, but they hadn't really got going, and they haven't got going at all in this second half, that's for sure. Ball headed forward by Erin Amu to his brother Ari Amu, who's not been on the score sheet, as the ball chipped forward, but in the end it will go out of play and be a throw in to our home side. So it's the number 11 former Ware player, Larrick Diakesi, who was picked out by Steve in his Ware preview. Steve King, who does the preview on the Ware website. They picked out Diakesi. He probably wishes he hadn't now, as they're coming forward again. Here is Diakesi. Oh, he almost set up the silver, and Joe Dearman did some very important defending for Ware. Here's Dearman again, adds the ball up. We're still inside Ware territory as Lapido brings it down away from Kieran Bishop. Lapido on this near side. The Silver's given it away though. Oh, crunching challenge comes in. Bishop left a foot in. And there's a card coming out here, and I'm a little concerned what colour that card's going to be, possibly. It's a red. Kieran Bishop goes. We're in big trouble. Kieran's second red card of the season. They're down to 10 men. And can anything else go wrong for Ball's team?
Well, I think you're right to have been initially worried about what colour that's going to be. It's a senseless tackle. Area of the pitch where it's really not necessary at all. And another red card for him. Having just come back from a ban and getting another red card, he's going to speak to the referee. But there's absolutely no point at all. He needs to get off the pitch before the referee does anything further.
Well, this could be looked upon as the day it all went wrong. Kieran Bishop's red card, second one of the season. And we've seen the first one actually again, haven't we, in the second light, which we thought was controversial, but didn't end up being so. And that one, well, it was right in front of us. You can't do that because the referee, well, when he reached for that top pocket, there was only one guard that was going out. And Kieran Bishop is coming off the pitch, and well, his return to Ware has not been what they wanted. He was brought to put the ball in the back of the net, but all he's done is collect 2 red cards so far and 1 goal. Well, it's unfortunate for the substitute Isaiah Brown-Smith. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue. They were signalling they wanted to change, which is sad to see for any player in front of us. It's the right ankle that's the problem. Not quite sure they're going to make a change out on that far side because he is back out. The physio was signalling that maybe he wouldn't be able to continue. But we'll wait and see. We'll see what Ware do here with the way they're going to get their formation together as well. You're right, Simon. I mean, it's John Clements who's doing all the talking out there, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I noticed at half time when they, when they came back for the second half, he got them into a huddle. He was like, geeing them up, and sort of like taking on that role that we said that they're lacking. That sort of like leadership kind of role that they're lacking. So maybe that's one to keep an eye out on for him and for him to do so.
Well, for always the ball on the edge of the area. I guess he's going in, but it's cleared by Ben Siggers. Headed up in the air and then out forward on this near side for Rio De Silva to have a run. Joe Dearman goes in with a challenge. De Silva goes up in the air, and Ware have got to keep their heads here. Joe Dearman's got a yellow card, and it could be even worse than down to 10 if they continue in this. Because he flew into De Silva. It's frustrating, but you can't let your frustration get the better of you. No. I mean, this is the danger, isn't it? This is what we said before. They need to keep their heads. They need to concentrate. They need to, claw their way back into the game. And if circumstances and things like what we've seen in the last 5 minutes or so aren't going to help that at all. 26 minutes, second half gone. We're trailing by 3 goals to 2. Got to defend here as the ball comes across, well headed out by Jack Dreyer inside the 6-yard box. Erinamu goes down. Oh, it's broken for the shot to come in from Albert Wood, and Ware haven't cleared their lines again, and suddenly Kempston Rovers are in cloud walnut land here because they lead Ware by 4 goals to 2.
Well, I mean, you look at the reaction from the players. They've gone down into that bottom corner, haven't they? A load of fans have gone over there and cheering them on, and I think they can't believe it either. And you look at these Ware players; they're in exactly the same position. They can't believe what's going on. It's a real second half to forget for these Ware boys, and it's obviously a situation they wouldn't have seen coming. It's one that we definitely didn't see coming. And I think a lot of the fans here didn't see him coming as well. But it's happened, and they need to take a reality check there, and they really do. Otherwise, this is just going to... If they carry on like this, they're going to end up mid-table, and it's going to be a terrible, terrible season for them.
Well, what can you say? I've got to say, young Albert Wood, I'd have him down as man of the match.
Yeah.
What a finish as well. But Ware just cannot clear their lines inside their own 6-yard box. I mean, they just had ample opportunity to clear the ball for all 4 goals, and they haven't done it. Well, they're going to have to produce something really special here as John Clements goes down to the right-hand edge of the area. The 10 men trail 4-2. Clements is robbed of the ball by 3 red and white shirts. Here comes De Silva. It could get worse and embarrassing for Ware here. De Silva with a run against Darian Furlong. De Silva goes into the area. Furlong defends well, gets himself between man and ball, and is then pulled down for a free kick. There'll be a free kick which Fred Burbage will take inside his area. It's going to be a possibility another change being made here by Kempston on that far side of the field. They've never beaten Ware in a competitive fixture, but they'll never have a better chance than they will this afternoon. It's the unfortunate Isaiah Brown-Smith who's gone down again, and I don't think he's going to be able to play any further part. So he's going to go off, and Charles Black, who's a midfield player really, is going to come on. That's unfortunate because it was a poor tackle by Kieran Bishop. You never like to see a player have to depart because of that. So there's all sorts of debates going on inside the Ware half at the moment, as George Ironton's about to join us as well. Not quite sure. I think it might be Ben Siggers who's going to go off. In fact, it's going to be Mitch Hahn who will go off, and George Ironton will come on. But, he will certainly not have wanted to have been introduced into this kind of situation, you would think. And, well, he's come back to the team. We know he's a class player, but nearly everything's gone wrong since George came in. Yeah,
it's not gone his way at all, has it? Obviously, results haven't gone the way. He had that little niggle, didn't he? That little injury. But, we know what George can do, and let's hope he can do something and get Ware back into this game somehow.
Well, they've got to perform a real miracle. A miracle in Walnut Land if they're going to do it, because we've got 15 minutes left. They're down to 10 men and they trail 4-2 against the team that so far this season had only scored 7 home goals. That tells its own story, as Ben Siggers will put it back to Fred Burbage. Burbage's kick forward. George Ironton's beaten to it by Lapido. Forward by Coker. Got to throw caution to the wind here, and when they do so, players like Rio da Silva will be licking their lips at taking advantage. But Ware wrestle the ball back with Liam Dawson on that far side, who's not had the best of games. It's got to be said, Ware's top scorer, 18 goals this season. Hasn't really looked like adding to that tally. So the ball is back inside Kempston territory and now finds a substitute Charles Black on this near side of the field. Black down the line looking for Aaron Amu. Further down that line for Charles Black. Ware could be in trouble again as Darian Furlong lets the ball go, but Coker did well to read it and robs Diakesi of a clear run on goal. He's still down by the corner flag here. Coker needs to clear the ball, but in the end he just thumps it against the Kempston man, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Ware, which Freddie Burbage will take. 4 goals conceded here. 4 goals, it's got to be said, last week in a friendly against 5th tier Hoddesdon, and I just don't know what you do. Is it coaching? Is it players? These are good players out here. But, they just do not seem to know what to do when the ball's bobbling about around that area.
No, I mean, I think it's a mixture of all sorts of things, Pete. As you say, it's going to come from coaching. They need to sort of know how to deal with that when that ball comes into the area. I think, obviously it's down to the players, but we know they've got a good calibre of player here. But as we said, I think it comes down to that leadership role. You need someone, Clemo, as we said, he seems to be sort of taking charge a little bit and trying to do the players up. But it's no good that happening when you go behind or when you sort of lose a lead. You need someone doing that from the start, and they didn't have that in this game.
As the ball thumps against Echo Coker and rebounds out on that far side of the field and goes away for a throw-in to Kempston Rovers. It's going to be their right fullback, Albert Wood, who's impressed us this afternoon, is going to take that throw-in as time begins to ebb away from Ware and possibly away from any chance of a place in the playoffs. We said results were going their way at half-time, but this is not going to do them any favours at all. This is a game that you would really target 3 points from against a team who've only won 2 league games all season. But for Kempston, well, this could be their ticket back up the table and their ticket out of trouble at the foot of it. Tame United were at Welling Garden City, of course, and drawing 1-1. They're the next team up in the table from Kempston. They had a 6-point advantage. Kempston have got games in hand, got to be said. Got 3 in hand on Tame, who are 6 points in front of them. So all is not lost for Richard Keel's side. And certainly not if they show the kind of character they've shown in the second half here. Ware have been poor, but it's still taking Kempston to take advantage as Ware win themselves a free kick on the halfway line. Far side of the field. Statistics will tell you, of course, it's got a bit lively in the last 10 minutes of games as the Crow decides to depart finally. Seen enough. Maybe it's going back to Ware, who knows? Who knows? Another one come. When one arrives, the second one, like buses, as Ben Siggers will take the free kick from the halfway line. Long one forward. Ware at least need to get one back here to form a grandstand finish. Is Joe Dearman. Dearman gets the ball across the box. It's flicked forward by John Clements, but in the end it's the goalkeeper, George White, who collects it down by his right-hand goalpost and bowls it out to Lani Lapido. Lapido's ball back to Gabriel Ward on this near side. Charles Black puts it down the line looking for Diakesi. Diakesi though was offside, so it's going to be a free kick right in front of us. Another substitute, Ryan Mills, is about to join us on the far side for Ware. It's going to be Joe Dearman who's going to go off. Ryan Mills is going to come on. It's really right-sided player, although you think Ryan Mills perhaps just slightly more attacking threat. Well, that was when Joe Dearman started it all off after 29 minutes. We had absolutely no idea what we were facing, and certainly not after Agogo gave Ware a 2-goal lead right on the half-time. Ryan Mills comes on, and so they've got Mills, Clements and Dawson all up front, but they just need a goal. And then another one to follow it. On the edge of the area, Mills goes up, easily beaten by Racine. Headed down by Ward. George Ironton can't get a hold of it. Siggers on this near side looks for David Soto, but it's sorted out by Kempston. And here they come with De Silva, 3 against 3 for a minute. But Soto's back on level terms now for Ware. De Silva go to the corner. They're shouting. It was a bit early for that. We've still got 12 minutes left, but here's De Silva, slows it all down with Lapido in the centre of midfield for Kempston Rovers. The ball back with Ward and keeping possession as they can against the 10 men of Ware. In fact, into the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes remaining here. 21 goals in the last 10 minutes of games involving Ware this season. And here comes Diakesi, who could make it 22, but linesman's flag goes up on that far side. And it's going to be a free kick to Ware. Darian Furlong wants to know where to take the ball from, leads it to Fred Burbidge at the hurry up. We're trailing here by 4 goals to 2 against the bottom team in the division, and down to 10 men after a second straight red card for Kieran Bishop in his return to Watson Park. Long kick forward by Fred Burbidge. Up in the air goes Sota. Charles Black will bring it down and bring in Diakesi. Diakesi controls the ball well. Back to Charles Black. Black for Lapido. Lapido the back to Racine on the edge of the box. Rapido will pick up the ball again. Aim to come forward on this near side. Oh, we look for De Silva, but there's a loose one. Well, we'll get it back with a throw-in, which David Soda will take, but there's still no worrying about it. I mean, they're 4-2 down here with 10 men as John Clements heads it over his own head, and Ward quite thankfully just thumps it away towards the halfway line, where the ball is won by De Silva again. He finds Ariamu. Ariamu's ball on that far side is too far forward, and Fred Burbidge will come out and collect it for Ware. Long ball looking for Liam Dawson down that side. Dawson lucky to get a ricochet off of Wood. Ware still in possession with George Ironton. Hemmed him down by that far side touchline. Crossed by Siggers. Clements can't get a header to it. Ball bounces on the edge of the area. Anywhere will do by Lapido. Lands midway inside his own half. Coker and Ariamu are wrestling for the ball, and the number 9 does well. Gets the ball away on that far side, and here comes Kempston once more coming forward. They've got an overlap on this side. Here's Diakesi. De Silva goes outside him. Diakesi maybe fancies it himself. He's delayed just a little bit too long. Ware have got players back, but here's De Silva again going across the edge of the area. Turns right, turns left. De Silva still going, being followed all the way by David Sota. I think if they guess he went all his way to Bedford down that way, he'd find David Soter behind him. But in the end, it's Kempston who's still in possession. Wood goes down under challenge from Siggers, and then it's finally cleared from inside his own penalty area by George Ironton. It's a real passage of play there. Charles Black picks it up on the halfway line, beats Clements to it, brings in Aaron Amu. Aaron Amu will get it back again. On this near side brings in Diakesi. Diakesi finds Charles Black, who's going to put it across the area. And Fred Burbage going backwards, watches it go over his head and behind for a goal kick. But while it's at that end, there's not a lot Ware can do about it.
No, there's not, is there? You know, they need to get this ball forward. They need to find some gaps and do it fast. But I mean, as you say, you know, there seems to be no urgency. There's no fire in these players as well, and it's concerning, I think, really.
Yeah, I think it has been for a while this season, and it's come to an head this afternoon for me. It's been as poor as I've seen them play in a long, long time in the second half. There's a man with a dog in front of us. Well, it's nice to see a dog up football. As Aaron Amu picks the ball up, plays the ball to Gabriel Ward, who's not put under any pressure. I mean, they're just playing about with the ball inside their own half. You would certainly think it wasn't Ware who required 2 goals in the final 6 minutes plus time added on. As Ward's ball on his near side just bounces out and goes behind for a throw-in. It's a very static bench over there as far as Ware are concerned. It's just confusing, really. And get a team who can play so well against Chelmsford in the FA Cup. They can come from behind, play well at AFC Dunstable. They can push Biggleswade Town all the way at home before unluckily going down 1-0. But it's also a team that can lose 4-1 at Kings Langley, 7-1 at Bedford, 4-1 at Adley, and be 4-2 down to the team at the bottom of the league. It's certainly one of those that have most people scratching their heads, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, it's been such a mixed bag this season, hasn't it? You know, some of the results were initially surprises, but I mean, I think back to what we said at the beginning of this game. You know, we really don't know what to expect from this, do we? And it seems like I know we said see what the 90 minutes brings, but I think we've got our answer already, Pete.
Yeah, I think it was that old commentator's phrase. I can't remember who said it, but they're predictable in their unpredictability, I think. George Ironton's been robbed of the ball now, and he's going to get himself a yellow card, which is not going to help matters at all. George picks up a yellow card. It's been poor discipline as well, and you're absolutely right, Simon. It goes back to what we've been saying, a lack of leadership on the pitch. There isn't any. It's quite simple as that. And it's sad to see from a club that has really over the past couple of seasons been carried forward by the fact that it has had such a brilliant team spirit, but that certainly has just been missing this season. And if they are going to make a third playoff final in a row, then they're really going to have to go some, because I can't see this team being anywhere near the playoffs, and possibly not the top half the way they're playing. But the ball put back into the box by Wood. Diakesi's there, volleyed clear by George Ironton. Up in the air, Liam Dawson can't collect it. And that time running out on the 10 men. 3 minutes to go, plus time added on. And we're trailing 4-2 as Ramiah Mills can't go the other side of Charles Black. And the locals give him a good round of applause to their substitute. Fair play to them, they haven't had it very good here in these neck of the woods so far this season, so we wouldn't begrudge them a little celebration, even though it's at our expense in terms of Ware and their playoff hopes, which are disappearing, I think, over the back there towards the Grandoos, as deep inside their own half, Where have got themselves a free kick, which Darian Furlong will take. Would normally ask for a man of the match at this point, Simon, but I don't think we'll bother.
No. I was thinking the same sort of thing, to be honest, Pete. I mean, there's no one out there for Ware, we would hasten to add, we do the man of the match for our teams, and there's no player. I'll just break for 1 second.
Yeah, Ariamu's got the ball, plays the ball back on that far side to Adepoju. Adepoju's got Woods steaming up that side. He fires in the shot with his left boot, and it wasn't far over at all. Fred Burbage was worried that could have been 5.
That could have been, yeah, absolutely, and that would have just been the icing on the cake, I think, for Kempston, wouldn't it? But as I was saying, I don't think there's been anyone deserving in this Ware side of a man of a match award. I know it's only like a fun kind of thing that we do, but I wouldn't be able to pick anyone out. That there's no one that's done anything special. There's no one that's shone. There's no one who's kind of taken the game by the scruff of the neck. And I think it's scrapped for this week. Yeah,
I think so. It's been it's as poor a performance we've seen from one of our teams all season, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's to put it in perspective here. We've seen some good performances from Ware, Welwyn Garden City and Hertford Town, but we haven't seen anything this poor because it just lacks spirit. That's the thing, really. There doesn't seem to be enough out there. Players aren't bothered enough. They don't seem to be worried about the situation that they're in. And to be honest, they didn't really seem from the beginning. They didn't play well in the first half. They were fortunate to be 2-0 up at half-time from, a real defensive error and a poor marking at a corner got them 2-0 up. So they were fortunate on that occasion. And as we go into time added on for stoppages, it's a Ware side that Paul Halsey is still trying to raise his team, but his team, I'm afraid, are far from raising at the moment. They are flat as a pancake, and it's going to be cheers from the locals here at Hillgrounds. They're going to greet us at the final whistle, and we'll be looking to see what else has been happening in the league to see how far Ware have dropped off the pace as David Sota goes in on this near side with Diakasi, who's a decent game, the number 11, former Ware player. Sota will take the throw in towards Ramaya Mills. Haven't really had a chance to get in the game. John Clements is beaten to it by the young fullback Gabriel Ward, who's grown into the game, alongside Matthew Racine, who's now in possession. Long ball forward by him. Fred Burbage will come out and collect it. Not party to how much is being added on at the end of this, but as far as Ware are concerned, we saw that minibus outside, and I think it's a case to start the engine, because I don't think they're going to get anything out of this whatsoever unless a real miracle happens in the next minute or so. And Ramaya Mills is robbed of the ball by Charles Black, and here goes Rio da Silva down this left-hand side. Furlong comes in, good challenge, getting the ball all the way. That's a little appreciative pat from Rio da Silva. But Kempston have a throw in down in deep in Ware territory, and they're about to make another change on that far side. It's going to be Ariamu who will come off, and it's going to be the number 17 Joshua Quinlivan who comes on. It's an interesting one, this, because he's Josh Quinlivan, who was playing League of Ireland football with Galway. He's a young Irishman, 23 years of age, who's now been snapped up here by Kempston Rovers and comes on at the death of this one for Ariamu, who scored one of those 4 goals which crashed past Freddie Burbage in this second half. Referee looks at his watch. Charles Black's got the ball here, ready to take the throw in. Takes it into the area where had not picked up Diakesi. I apologise if you heard John Clements, but I think he had an absolute spot-on point there. Who was marking him? And that's part of Ware's problem, as the goalkeeper has come all the way out, George Whitehall, and dribbles the ball away, but he's lost it now. Whitehall's out, midway inside his own half, and still manages to get away with it. Racine thumps it forward towards Freddie Burbage at the other end. Well, when it's going for you, it's going for you. The goalkeeper made a complete Horlicks of that, but managed to get away with it.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I mean, it seems to have entertained the crowd here, doesn't it? They like that. But Yeah, I mean, as you say, a complete guff, and from him there, and he's managed to deal with it, and then even header it away towards the end.
It's Echo Coker midway inside the Kempston half as we go on here. Ball down the line to Siggers. Siggers cross a poor one, easy for Lapido. Quinlivan on that far side picks up the ball, but in the end Siggers gets back, atones for his error, and puts it all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Referee's looking at the watch, can't have too much longer to go. There's a long kick forward. Siggers is in advanced position, and Remind Mills it was who went up. Gets a free kick. In fact, it was Echo Goka. Free kick to Ware midway inside the Kempston half. To be honest, they score here. I'm sure it's only going to be consolation as Racine goes down on the edge of the area as Echo Goka walks past him. And nobody really makes anything of it. Siggers' cross is headed out by Wood, further up by Quinlivan. Will be back down by Jack Dreyer for George Ironton. His ball on this near side looks to release from Remiah Mills. Mills there with Charles Black. Good cross from Remiah Mills. Nobody can do much with it. And in the end, it's Wood again who thumps the ball up towards the halfway line, and Ben Siggers. Siggers controls the ball and puts it all the way back once more to Fred Burbidge. Don't know if the Ware players want more time added on, because I wouldn't want to be heading back to that dressing room to face Paul Halsey after this performance. So perhaps they want to stay out there in the gold. Here's Liam Dawson, left-hand side. Dawson fires the ball in, but again it's a decent clearance again from Gabriel Ward. And the ball will go out with a throw-in for Kempston far side, and surely that's as far as we go.
Well, I mean, there can't be long left now, can there? I mean, you say about the players want the time added on to not get back in the dressing room, because I think Paul will be keeping them out there on that pitch for a little while after the game anyway, and giving them his thoughts there. That's a normal sort of thing he does, doesn't he? If they've had a poor result, he'll keep them out on the pitch and tell them his thoughts there. And I've got a feeling that that's what he'll want to do with them today.
Yeah. It's a frustrating one for a manager, isn't it? Because, he said to us parts this season, if they play like that, we're not going to get in the playoffs. They know it, I've told them it, but the reaction just doesn't seem to be there. And that's the sad part about it all, and it's ill-disciplined as Quinlivan tries a run against David Sota, but he sorts it out. Siggers plays it forward in the general direction of Remiah Mills. But De Silva brings it down, but Ware will sort that out with Jack Dreyer. Dreyer's ball on the far side brings in Liam Dawson. Liam Dawson with a run against Wood again, onto the left foot, fires it in, and it rebounds off of Ward and goes behind for a corner. Referee looks at his watch. If he's looking at his watch, it might have stopped, because he certainly played a considerable amount over the top. 8 minutes over the top, I'm making it now. I don't quite know where he's found that from. But corner will come in, a high corner, up goes the goalkeeper, just about does enough to punch it to the edge of the area and a bit further, and Remiah Mills will pick it up for Ware. He's robbed of it by Quinlivan, and Mills goes down, brings Quinlivan down, and here we go again, another yellow card. Remiah Mills will go in the book this time. So that's 4 yellows and a red as far as Ware are concerned. Not the happiest as the player rubs his shins, and the referee's getting his book out again, is he? Or is he just noting the name of Remiah Mills down? No, he's just noting the name of Remiah Mills on the yellow card. So it will be a free kick to Kempston Rovers deep inside their own half. We are deep into injury time, nearly 9 minutes over the top so far. We're trailing by 4-2, not looking likely if they were here till the same time tomorrow to get anything out of this. I don't know why the referee doesn't put us out of our misery and let's get in the warm. I think he's going to now, and he does. Cheers come from those fans that only had cause to do that once before this season when they beat Tame United 1-0. On this occasion, second home win of the season only for bottom glove Kempston Rovers, as they've come from 2 goals down at half time to beat Ware by 4-2.
Well, I mean, absolutely disastrous afternoon for Ware, wasn't it? You know, and you couldn't have seen that coming after what we saw in the first half. And I think for the Ware players, for the fans, it's really one they're going to want to forget. But I don't think Paul's going to let the players forget that for sure. He'll be giving them the hairdryer treatment in the dressing room, give them these thoughts, and he won't be happy at all. But he'll want some sort of reaction from them for the next game.
Well, what can we say? Paul Halsey's having a word with the referee, but it wasn't about refereeing. It was about a poor performance by a side that didn't really start off on the right foot. They didn't impose themselves against the bottom team in the division. They were lucky to go in 2-0 up at half-time. First one, an error by Erin Amu, which left Joe Dearman with a clear run on goal. The second one, poor marking on 2 occasions, one allowing John Clements to nip Mitch Hahn's corner across at the near post and not picking up Echo Goker at the far post. 2-0 looked easy for Ware at that stage, but then suddenly it all went horribly wrong when they didn't get the ball clear inside their own 18-yard area. That really was their downfall in all 4 goals that flew into the back of the net. All started off with Joshua Adepoju after 52 minutes. 3 minutes later, it was Ari Amu that got them level at 2-2. 61 minutes in, and it was Larrick Diakesi, the former Ware player, who thumped another one in from inside the 18-yard area. And then, to add insult to injury, a red card for Kieran Bishop, who'd only been on the field for less than 5 minutes. A horrible challenge, which in the end forced Isaiah Brown-Smith off the park. Deserved nothing more than red. Kieran Bishop, second of the season. And then was our man of the match, the young fullback Albert Wood. I think we might see a bit more of him. Had an excellent game, the 18-year-old. He thumped in number 4. And from then on, there was no going back for a Ware side who lacked character, they lacked spirit, they lacked urgency, they lacked skill, they lacked everything that we've expected of Ware teams in the past. Sorry if we're being a bit harsh, but I think we're telling it like it was.
No, I think we absolutely are, Pete. I mean, I don't think you can put it any other way. Really, it would be. It's to be fair to the people that are listening here and wanting to know how the game goes. And I think we've got to be completely honest about it.
Well, we're always honest with officials and teams. And good luck at Kempston. Thanks for the hospitality. I think we might be back here a little bit later in the season when Welwyn Garden City come here. And nice to see them celebrating. No, you don't want to see teams struggling adrift at the bottom of tables, and not a nice friendly club like this one. So good luck to them for the rest of the season, and we'll just see what else has been happening in the league. As far as Ware are concerned, by the way, 20 played, 29 points, and Kempston now played 17 will have 12 points. Still be at the foot of the table no matter what happens. And the goal difference is a little bit good. They're minus 22 now. But Ware's goal difference tells the story of one of the worst defences in the division, minus 4, despite the fact they were in 8th place this morning. So that's pretty diabolical as well. Kempston will, of course, we'll be seeing them on Tuesday night. Well, see what they bring then. They'll certainly go to the Pexhurst on Tuesday with plenty of confidence. Could be an interesting game against Mark Weatherstone's Welwyn Garden City. And that's next engagement for me at 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf. Right, here we go. Let's see what else has been happening.
Right, so I've got the full-time scores here. So Aylesbury United, they've come back from behind at half-time against AFC Dunstable to take the win 2-1 against them. The Biggleswade Derby, Biggleswade 1, Biggleswade Town 2. Biggleswade Town managed to hold on to their half-time lead. Just one goal in the second half and one goal in the game between Cirencester Town and Kidlington. Kidlington taking the 3 points there. Wolf maybe did stage a comeback against Hadley, but Hadley managed to hold on and win that game 4-3. One goal for Kings Langley in the second half, but Bedford held out in that one, and Bedford beat them by 3-1. Leighton Town 1, North Leigh 2. So the two at the top of the league both get 3 points this afternoon. Stotfold 1, Barton Rovers 0. And in the final game, a few goals in the second half at the Peckhurst. I've done it again. Welling Garden City. It's because I've written the full name, you see. That's what it's finished. Welling Garden City 3, Tame United 4.
Oh.
Goal scorers for Welling Garden City. Cyrus added to his first half goal, so a double for him, and Brad Watkins with the other one. But Tame United managed to steal the 3 points right at the end of the game there.
Well, victories for the bottom two. Who would have expected that? Both scoring 4 goals as well. Kempston and Tame United. Disappointment for Welling Garden City, most definitely. Mark Weatherstone will want a reaction on Tuesday night. We'll be interested to see that. Top of the table then will still be North Leigh. Played 40 points. Bedford in second played, when I'm trying to work this out now, played 18. They've got 2 games in hand on North Leigh. They're a point behind on 39. Beardswade Town will be in third place. Waltham Abbey will remain in fourth despite their defeat. And indeed, Cirencester will remain in fifth despite going down. Kings Langley will be 6, and then I'm losing out a little bit in terms of other results. So certainly that's your top 6. As far as Ware are concerned, well, it's ridiculous, really, isn't it? They put in an awful performance here against Kempston Rovers, but still they only find themselves 3 points behind Cirencester with a game in hand. It's crazy.
It is. I mean, like we said, no one seems to want to, to get that place in the playoffs, do they? They all seem to be, trying to hand it over to each other, and with the results they've had lately, and the performances that have been going on, and some of the results, throughout the season, for them to be in that sort of position, I think they can count themselves fortunate, really.
Absolutely fortunate. Well, there's a couple of see Kevin Goon and Joe O'Brien trudging across the pitch from the Ware dugout. I don't think I've ever seen Joe look so down, deflated and non-animated, actually. He does certainly, as he goes into the dressing room. Paul Halsey and Paul Halls are just coming across as well to complete the coaching staff. It's been a poor afternoon here at Hill Grounds. If you're a Ware fan, or if you've been following us on 90 Minutes Live with your Ware scarf, or wherever you've been. The second half, I'm afraid, was best watched from behind the sofa, because having been 2-0 up at a half time, it was an absolute horror show in the second half, with Kempston Rovers scoring 4 and winning out here by 4-2. I'll be at Bexhurst on Tuesday night, Welling Garden City against Kempston Rovers again. So a chance to see the Walnut Boys. The one good thing about that for me is I won't have to do too much homework, will I? Because I'll know all about them. So look forward to that one. Next Saturday we'll be at the Smile IT with Hertford coming back into league action, having had a week off. They'll be taking on Kings Langley, which will be our chance to see Kings Langley for the first time this season. Always pleasant to go to the Smile IT. That'll be this time next week. This week, whatever you're doing, well, if you are a Ware fan, then just turn the TV on and watch The Chase or something. Just get yourself away from football, probably. Time to calm down and reflect, I think. It's finished here. 10-man Ware, Kieran Bishop's red card, 4 second-half goals for Kempston. It's going to be a pretty glum drive back down the 507 and down the A10. But hey, that's football. Thanks for joining us here on 90 Minutes Live. Back live again on Tuesday night, live from 7:40 at the Bexhurst. So until then, leave you the full-time score here, where it finished Kempston Rovers 4, Ware 2.